welcome back to SheWolfMom. I'm Erica. In today's video, I am going to be folding a ton of laundry. But before I started folding laundry, I really wanted to get the main area of the house cleaned up. That way I can fold laundry comfortably without feeling like I needed to do that next. As I mentioned in my community tab, I wanted to talk to you about my trip to Alaska today. So I'll be giving you a little bit of the background info on that trip. It was amazing. We totally enjoyed ourselves. We made memories that are going to last a lifetime. Before we jump into that, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. If you are new, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out. I have been on this YouTube journey for about 5.5 years, and I would love for my channel to finally take off. You would be a big part in making that happen. Thank you in advance, and thank you to all of my subscribers who have been there for me. I really do feel your love through all the comments. So if you've never commented, please leave a comment down below so that I know you are out there. Meant to find a little piece of mind. So I just repotted my plant, and I've had this one since we lived in Arizona, and I'm really scared that it might not take, but hopefully that is not the case. It looks a little bit wilted, so it might be in shock, but hopefully all is well in a few weeks. It's actually my only plant that survived the move. I had a snake plant, and that one lived up to about maybe the beginning of this year. So I actually just got a new one, and it's right here. So this is my new snake plant. I'm hoping that I can keep this one alive. I think what happened is that we went on vacation for, I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. So I watered it, and I think I overwatered it just because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to water it when I was gone. And so I think that might have started the process of it dying. So I'm really happy to have another snake plant. I actually waited until after our vacation to buy this one because I knew that we were going to be gone for a while, and again, I didn't want it to die. I put this on the wall a few days ago because we celebrated Mikey's 16th birthday, and I think I'm going to leave it there for a few more days. I like the way it looks, and it's just a reminder that he celebrated his 16th birthday. And so I just really can't believe that we have a 16-year-old. It blows my mind. I just can't believe that that much time has passed because he was barely just 1 and he was barely just 6. So I don't know, I just can't wrap this around my head yet. In case any of you are wondering, here are my cookbooks. This is where I decided to put them on my little coffee cart. Yeah, it's a lot of them, and I know somebody mentioned that I could just look recipes up on the internet, and I absolutely can do that. I do that all the time actually, but I don't know, there's just something about looking through an actual book doing it the old-fashioned way that I want to do. So I think there's a few in there that I can get rid of, so I'll definitely be decluttering some of them, but for now that is the way it's going to stay. It's not hurting anybody, and I found a home for them, so that's that. This is the last of the stuff that I need to look through that was in the garage. So yeah, I have some stuff here that I need to work on, but I'm not going to do that in this video. In this video, I really just want to focus on cleaning up this area and this area because I need to fold clothes, and I like to fold the clothes on my table now because I don't have a lot of space, and so that is the main reason why I really wanted to get this area cleaned. Okay, so let's talk about my trip to Alaska. It was an 11-day cruise to Alaska, and we like to cruise on Carnival Cruise Line just because it's very affordable, and that was the first cruise that we took. So we started raking up points. And if none of you have taken a cruise, I'm not sure on other cruise lines on Carnival, you have different levels based upon the number of days you've been at sea. So you start at a blue level, then red level, then gold, then platinum, and I believe there's one more level after that. So right now we are gold level because we have taken several cruises in the last couple of years, but we flew into San Francisco because this was the port that the ship was sailing out of. It was the first time that we had ever sailed out of anywhere other than California, which was Long Beach. We have always sailed out of Long Beach. So we kind of got out of our comfort zone, but this was a trip that we have been wanting to take for a very long time. In previous years, it didn't work out because they were 14-day cruises and they were during the time that the kids were in school. So this was the first cruise that we saw that was during the summer when the kids were out of school, and it was an 11-day trip. So it was a little less time at sea and a little less time away from work and home. And so we jumped on it. We had our reservations for a year. In the cruise world, it's actually very normal to book your cruises a year or two in advance. And so we already have our next cruise booked, and that'll be in October of 2025. So I got through sorting all of that laundry. So this pile here is mine, and whoa. I already don't have space. So I am going to be decluttering my closet and my drawers very soon, but not today. That's Ileana's clothes. These are my husband's. Those are just socks. And then these are Mikey's. So yeah, I probably had the most clothes in that pile. So I'm going to sort through them. As I sort through my clothes, I'll be making sure to declutter as I go, because you all, I don't even have hangers for all of this. So when I start running out of hangers, that's when I know that I need to declutter. So some decluttering of clothing is coming very, very soon. So as I mentioned, we flew into San Francisco, and we figured since we were going so far and we have never visited San Francisco, the kids and I, my husband has, that we would spend a couple of days exploring before we actually started our cruise. So we flew in, and then that first day we went to Fisherman's Wharf. They have the most amazing seafood, and that is because it comes directly from the bay, and you could totally taste the difference. The best seafood I have ever had. The next day we went to Chinatown. This is because Ileana is in love with the Asian culture. And so we took her to Chinatown, did a little bit of shopping and eating. We walked down to Little Italy, and in that area is the church where Marilyn Monroe married Joe DiMaggio. And so we were able to stand outside and take some pictures. It's a beautiful white church. We were able to step inside briefly, but a service was in session, and so I didn't want to be disrespectful and take any pictures inside, but it definitely was beautiful. Another thing that we did that was really exciting is we drove in a self-driving car. It taxied us to the mall. It was just an amazing experience, and it was something that we had to try. I couldn't help but think that we are living in the future. We did so much walking on day one. I want to say we walked anywhere between 25 and 30,000 steps. Actually, all of this is supposed to be yours, but I got these mixed up.
Yeah, those are all his clothes. What the heck?
Did you see how big the bag was?
Oh yeah, that big.
It's
Yeah.
huge. Everyone's clothes were mixed.
Oh my goodness.
George?
It's mine.
Oh my god, it's so confusing.
Well, that's why I bought separate brands.
If I put the clothes in the wrong place, I'm sorry. What underwear have you been wearing?
I have
Because your underwear are all right here.
I have some. I told you a couple weeks ago that I didn't have any. But no, I have some.
So what have you been wearing?
No, babe. No, I have some because you gave them to me.
Oh. Thought I'd let you in on some of the background conversation because it is quite entertaining. But let's go ahead and move on into day 2 of our trip to San Francisco. We actually went to Alcatraz, and that was a really amazing experience. I've always read about it, seen documentaries about it, but I never thought that I would step foot on Alcatraz. There's just so much history there, and I've found as I get older, I am just a history junkie. So I was just soaking it all in. It was amazing. I even caught an orb in one of the jail cells. It's definitely something you have to see at least once in your life. So this is where things are going to get tricky because I only have 3 hangers for all of that. 3 hangers. Yeah, I really need to declutter my closet. Promise that a big closet declutter is going to come soon. I just have to get to it. It's not the right time, but I refuse to buy new hangers, and so that is why I am going to come up with a workaround, and you will see that later. So back to my Alaska trip, it was an 11-day cruise as I had mentioned, and we had 5 stops. So we were extremely active. We did a lot of walking, hiking, exploring. Alaska is absolutely beautiful if you are somebody that enjoys being outdoors, loves nature, you love hiking, fishing, just being extremely adventurous, then you definitely have to visit Alaska. I honestly had no expectations of what I was about to embark on, but I found that Alaska was the perfect mix of ocean and forest, and those are the 2 things that I absolutely love the most. Our first stop was in Icy Strait Point. It was there that we took the Sky Peak gondola, and that took us up about 14,000 feet. Luckily, the weather was absolutely perfect that day. No clouds in the sky, there was no rain, so you can only imagine the views from up top. It was absolutely breathtaking. I am scared of heights, but I definitely pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and I am so glad I did because there's no way that I would have been able to take in this view if I was just taking it in from a normal elevation. Icy Strait Point was set up mainly for tourism, and there is an old cannery there, so you are able to walk through it at no charge, and they show you some of the old machinery that they used to use. We also were able to catch some whales in the bay. There's a certain time of day when they all pass through. I think we only caught one, but that was still extremely exciting, and we also saw a beautiful sunset. That was day 1 in Alaska, and we soaked it all in, and we got onto the ship close to about 9:30 p.m. Day 2 was by far my absolute favorite. We did not take any excursions in Juneau, Alaska. Instead, we ended up making our own, and none of this was planned out. What we ended up doing was renting a car. We rented a Jeep in Juneau, so we were able to explore Juneau to the fullest. It was just the most amazing day. Our first stop was at the Mendenhall Glacier. I had never seen a glacier in my life. I actually thought glaciers were mainly on water, but they are not. They are on land. So we were able to check that out from afar, and it just really looks like a piece of ice just frozen on top of the mountaintop. So it was just a really amazing sight. And then in the area as well was a waterfall, and this was called Nugget Falls. It was about a mile hike to get there through just the beautiful forest. A little scary because you never know when a bear would come out, but luckily that did not happen. But you can hear the water from afar. I had no idea what I was about to see, but when I saw it, the most amazing thing I have ever seen. And so we just spent a lot of time there at the waterfall taking pictures and just really just soaking it all in. And you're going to hear me say that several times, but it was just the most amazing thing. And I'm so glad that we're able to do this with our children. So after that, we drove to Eagle Beach. I believe it's called Eagle Beach. And sure enough, there was bald eagles everywhere, perched on trees and light posts. And it was really foggy, so it made it a little bit eerie and spooky, but in a good way. So again, just an amazing sight. And while we were there at Eagle Beach, there was a stream, and we happened to see the stream under a bridge, and there was salmon, and they were trying to make their way up to lay their eggs. And we ended up going down to the creek, and the kids and my husband and his cousin were fishing for salmon with their hands. And I am not making this up. We did not expect any of this. It just kind of happened. And the kids and myself, we just all had so much fun because these are things that we've never been exposed to. And to be able to do them in Alaska, just salmon fishing with your hands, it was just such a wonderful memory. The next day, we went to Skagway, Alaska, and we actually had an excursion planned. We were going to go to a mushers camp. We wanted to do this for the kids because they love dogs. And so we were able to go up to a mushers camp up in the mountain, and the dogs were there. They were actual racing dogs getting conditioned to run their races in the Iditarod. And so they pushed us for a run around the forest, and the kids got to pet them, and we got to meet some of their babies. The kids were so happy and excited. The smiles on their faces was just priceless. It was such an amazing thing to experience as a family. So I am so glad that we chose this excursion. It was just one of a kind. And that pretty much wrapped up our day in Skagway. Also visited Ketchikan, and what I remember most about Ketchikan is the red light district. It is a beautiful place, and it's crazy because mentally I was in this place like, oh, this is where, a lot of women were, and a lot of women owned these homes and businesses, and they were still there. Outside of these homes, they actually had the story behind the home and who owned it. So there's definitely a lot of history there as well. The architecture was just absolutely gorgeous, and I think that's what I was really drawn to in Ketchikan. Prince Rupert, Canada is where we went, and Prince Rupert was nice. I'm not sure it was the Canada that I was expecting, but everyone there was really nice. And we went on a trolley tour, and I got to learn about monkey trees, and the sunken gardens were really beautiful. We also learned that somebody that had ties with Prince Rupert was on the Titanic, and he actually passed away, obviously, but he wanted to invest in Prince Rupert and make it, just a lot better. And his name was Charles Hayes. And obviously that did not happen. So that was also some interesting history there in Prince Rupert. We also went through the Tracy Arm Fjord, and that is absolutely stunning. We actually got to take some outdoor pictures with a photographer going through the fjord, and this is somewhere you can only go through by boat. So it was actually something really special and something that we probably never would have seen in our lives. So that's a little about my trip to Alaska in a nutshell. I mean, there was just so much that went on, and just so much that we got to experience, and we're just so grateful for for having the opportunity to be able to do this and to be able to share these firsts with our children. As I mentioned, a lot of our firsts are our children's firsts as well. So we are just so grateful for these memories. I know that they're going to last a lifetime and just leave a really deep impression in my children's minds. And this is one of the reasons why we wanted to downsize and live a simple life, so that we can be able to do more things with the kids, and we definitely are doing that. So our plan is working out, and we just cannot wait for more adventures. So this will be the end of today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me and listening to all of my stories about Alaska, and also folding laundry with me. I definitely have so much more work to do in my home. Let me know if you want more laundry videos. I used to love doing laundry day videos, and I think you all loved them too. So let me know if I should bring that back. I will see you all in the next one. Hugs!